Hello and welcome back to today's coverage of CCN, your source for Canyon Crest news. My name is Scott.
And my name is Camden. Today we will be mentioning a variety of events that took place during the 1940s.
Our emphasis today is on the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor and the causes for the United States joining the war.
And we're also going to later discuss how the Einsatzgruppen Nazis used firing squads to kill Jews in massive numbers.
With that, let's jump right on into a brief Pearl Harbor documentary.
Wow, that was powerful. You really don't want to mess with the US. On a lighter note, let's take a look at some fashion from World War II in the 1940s.
Choose your character.
Now that was awesome. Those are some cool fashion trends.
I would choose the formal outfit. What about you, Camden?
I would choose the uniform outfit.
Good choice, Camden. Now let's take a look at Germany and the Olympics, along with other physical activities that kept the population entertained during World War II. During the Second World War, the 1940 and 1944 Summer Olympics were meant to be underway. Teams from around the world would go to Tokyo, Japan, and London, the United Kingdom, to compete for glory. One popular sport in the Games would have been soccer, or Fußball in German. While both Olympics were eventually cancelled due to the war, that did not prevent countries from playing within their own borders. Baseball was also wildly popular during these times, and therefore, many of the athletes were also involved in the war. Baseball players worldwide continued to play games, and it was a friendly competition as opposed to the grueling one that was happening. One famous athlete was Ted Williams, a baseball star who served in World War II and later in the Korean War as well.
I'm a left fielder, and I was drafted in the war in 1943 to serve as a pilot. I had the highest batting average and on-base percentage during the live ball era. My interest for baseball started with my uncle, Sal Venzor, who was a semi-professional baseball player. He taught me how to throw a baseball at the age of 8 years old. After being very successful in high school, I signed with the local team, the the San Diego Padres. My career lasted for 19 years, but was eventually disrupted due to military services in World War II.
Athletics really can bring light to an otherwise depressing time in history.
I concur.
Next up, we have an exclusive interview with a political leader. He'll share a little bit about the German side of the Holocaust.
Guten Tag. My name is Heinrich Himmler. I am the head of German police and oversaw the deployment of the Einsatzgruppen. I studied agriculture, but after World War I decided to join paramilitary organizations. I participated in the infamous beer hall attack led by Adolf Hitler. I steadily made my way up the German hierarchy and became the second most powerful man in all of Germany. I started as part of Hitler's elite security guards and later the head of the Munich police. After Hitler was the leader of the Third Reich, my powers expanded. I was then nominated as the head of police of all of Germany. My first job was to eliminate the SA as Hitler saw it as a threat to Nazi Germany. I was responsible for the first concentration camp, Dachau. During the vast expansion of the German territories, I organized extermination camps where mass shootings of Jews would occur. During the last few months of the war, I was suffering from psychosomatic illness. I was trying to defeat Hitler, but he found out and had me arrested. I tried to escape, but the Western Allies caught me, and I commit suicide by poison a few months later.
Wow, I didn't know that about Herr Himmler.
After the German Einsatzgruppen's perspective, why don't we now take a look at the Jewish and civilian point of view of the Holocaust in the form of a quick documentary. Wow, that was fascinating but also heartbreaking.
I agree. To lift the mood, let's head over to a brief commercial from one of our sponsors.
Are you missing your family while you're away at war? Are you tired of saying goodbye forever? Do you wish that there was a product that could resolve both these issues? We'll look no further. Hollow All combines two of your favorite things, holograms, and calls. This product allows for in-person communication with your loved ones while you're away at sea or battle. This easy-to-use design allows for portable fun. You will never miss your family again. Buy now for only $9.99. Call 1-800-HOLLOW-ALL. That's 1-800-HOLLOW-ALL for a 2% discount.
I sure do want my own hologram call device now. What do you think, Scott?
You know what, Camden? So do I. Now let's check in with a Holocaust victim to get their opinion on the war and the Einsatzgruppen.
Hello, my name is Otto Frank, and I'm a Holocaust survivor. The Einsatzgruppen contributed over 1.25 million Jewish lives to the 6 million total Jews and non-Jews killed during the Holocaust. I nearly escaped with my life to tell this story. I was a businessman living with my wife, Edith, and my daughters, Anne and Margot. Frankly, I was worried about the rise of anti-Semitism in Germany, so my family and I moved to Amsterdam. I wanted to go to the United States, however, I could not get all the required documents to move there, so I had to hide, relying on my friends. My family and I had to hide in an attic behind a bookcase. Within the third year, we were found by the Nazi soldiers in 1944. We were all sent to different concentration camps. My job was to work at the gravel mine and then later transferred to build roads with the gravel. I was brutally beaten by one of the guards, but I was lucky enough to have one of my friends help me get transferred into a sick barracks. With the Soviet troops nearing, anyone that could walk was sent away, but I only weighed 52 kilos and I could not walk. On January 25, 1945, the Soviets arrived at Auschwitz and rescued the remaining people there. After I was able to get out of the concentration camps, I quickly rushed back to Amsterdam to see if the rest of the family was okay, but was met with the bad news that none of them had made it out of the camp. A close friend of mine gave me the diary of my daughter, Anne, and I decided to publish the diary of Anne Frank as a way to give people a new perspective of the horrid events that took place during that time. In 1952, I moved to Basel, Switzerland, and remarried in Amsterdam. I stayed close to the Anne Frank house and tried to preserve it as a way of documenting and displaying to others the misery that went down during this time. I'm Otto Frank, and this was my story.
Wow, that's interesting. Before we adjourn today, here's a song about World War II and Pearl Harbor. Check it out. You know that we'd have been fine to stand back and admire. Allied forces set the Axis once on fire. We were set up for the holiday season. We weren't ready for attack, there was no reason. But Japan hatched a plan to destroy our fleet. US ships in the Pacific would be wrecked. They calculated we would probably concede defeat, but their calculations, they were incorrect. Never trust America's naval base and prepare for us to get right up in your face. We'll build a new weapon they'll never expect us to menace time for the Manhattan Project. Yeah, that's the right mentality. No time for more neutrality. Welcome to my reality. Turn things around back at Midway. Pacific Fleet is here to stay. Our little boy and our fat man will soon be ready for Japan. And now we're at war formally. Let's help invade at Normandy. We're cutting down every German defender till we get their unconditional surrender. The war ended in 45 and now it's time for us to thrive. The Allies came out way on top, we copped it up. We never stopped, don't ever mess with the US. While you play checkers, we play chess. We could have just sat back to wait. It's over now, boys. Checkmate.
Thank you for being Cooper. Bruises can be fixed. A grade, however, cannot.